Discipline over motivation. The key to long-term success motivation is a spark. It's the rush of adrenaline that hits when inspiration strikes. It's the fiery burst of energy that makes us set goals, write plans, and dream big. Motivation is important to get you started. But motivation, like a gust of wind, is fleeting. It comes and goes. One day, you're ready to conquer the world. The next, you can't get out of bed. This is why we must place our faith not in motivation, but in something far more dependable. Discipline. Discipline is the engine that keeps running when motivation runs out. Discipline is routine, structure, and consistency. It is waking up early, even when you don't feel like it, showing up to work when you're tired, and sticking to your goals even when they feel miles away. Discipline is what transforms dreams into achievements, what turns temporary effort into lasting greatness. Consider the story of Thomas Edison. The great inventor once said, "Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration." Edison was not simply motivated, he was disciplined. When working on the light bulb, he failed over 1,000 times before finding the right filament. Most people would have given up after the first dozen failures. But Edison's discipline, his commitment to his goal, allowed him to persevere. He didn't rely on motivation. He relied on the system he had built: daily work, trial and error, and relentless effort. Let's look at another iconic figure, Muhammad Ali. The legendary boxer once said, "I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion." Ali understood that motivation wasn't always going to be there. But discipline was always by his side. He trained when no one was watching. He ran before the sun came up. He pushed through pain, fatigue, and doubt. That discipline turned him into one of the greatest athletes of all time. Another powerful example is Rosa Parks. She was not propelled by a sudden surge of motivation when she refused to give up her seat on a Montgomery bus. She was fortified by years of quiet discipline and consistent action in the civil rights movement. Her defiance was the result of long-held beliefs, personal integrity, and disciplined courage. She prepared her mind and character for that moment through years of unwavering commitment to justice and equality. And because of that single discipline, a movement ignited J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series, also exemplifies this truth. Before becoming one of the most successful authors in the world, Rowling faced numerous rejections from publishers. She was a single mother, living on welfare, battling depression. Motivation was not always there, but she kept writing every day, page by page. That discipline built a legacy. And look at Serena Williams, one of the most accomplished tennis players in history. Her success isn't a product of luck or mere talent. It's the result of years of disciplined practice, a rigid schedule, and the willingness to train when others rested. She honed her craft daily, guided by discipline, not fleeting motivation. The truth is, motivation is emotion-driven. It depends on how we feel, but feelings are unreliable. One moment you're excited, the next you're discouraged. You can't build greatness on something that changes with the wind. Discipline, on the other hand, is choice-driven. It is about making decisions aligned with your goals, regardless of how you feel. Discipline is setting the alarm clock and getting out of bed before the sun rises. It's studying when you'd rather watch TV. It's going to the gym even when your body says no. It's choosing water over soda, truth over comfort, long-term growth over short-term pleasure. Discipline isn't glamorous, but it is powerful. It turns ordinary people into legends. In the world of business, Elon Musk is a prime example. Known for his work ethic, Musk often works over 80 to 100 hours a week. His days are scheduled in 5-minute blocks. He manages multiple companies, including Tesla and SpaceX. That kind of output is not sustained by motivation alone. It is the product of extreme discipline, structured time, unwavering focus, and relentless pursuit of goals. Athletes, Artists, scientists, and world leaders all have one thing in common. They did not wait for the perfect moment. They acted, even when they didn't feel like it. They created habits that supported their success. They built systems that carried them forward when motivation died. Discipline is freedom. That may sound like a paradox, but it's true. When you are disciplined, you gain control over your time, your choices, and your outcomes. You are no longer a slave to distractions or moods. You decide how your day goes. You decide what gets your energy. And over time, that control creates opportunities, achievements, and impact. There's a reason the military emphasizes discipline so strongly. Soldiers are trained to follow routines, to act under pressure, to maintain standards regardless of how they feel. Why? Because in critical moments, you can't rely on emotion. You must rely on training. Life is no different. In your personal battles, whether they are health, finance, education, or relationships, discipline is your training. It is your armor. It is your edge. Now let's speak to the students, the dreamers, the entrepreneurs, the writers, the athletes. Whatever you are building, remember this. The world doesn't reward intentions. It rewards execution. You may have the most brilliant idea, the most inspiring dream, but unless you act on it consistently, it will remain just that, a dream. Discipline is what makes the difference. If you want to be great, stop waiting for motivation. Start cultivating discipline. Wake up at the same time every day. Create a routine. Set clear goals and review them weekly. Track your progress. Reward yourself not for feeling good, but for showing up. Build a life where discipline is your foundation. Even your relationships thrive on discipline. A good marriage isn't built on occasional romantic gestures. It's built on the daily choice to love, support, and show up. Parenting requires discipline. Friendships require discipline. Health, wealth, and wisdom, they all require steady, repeated effort. The Roman philosopher Seneca said, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." Discipline is that preparation. Motivation might bring you to the starting line, but discipline gets you to the finish dot to expand further. Let's reflect on the life of Vincent van Gogh. He struggled with mental illness, financial hardship, and constant rejection. Yet, in the last 10 years of his life, he produced over 2,100 artworks, often creating multiple pieces in a single week. His passion for painting was not sustained by applause or wealth. It was driven by sheer discipline. He continued even when no one appreciated his work. His story reminds us that true mastery requires persistent effort, regardless of external validation. Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple, also demonstrated the power of discipline. He was fired from the very company he helped create. Yet, he didn't let failure define him. Instead, he founded Next and Pixar, both of which became groundbreaking successes. Later, he returned to Apple and revolutionized the tech world. Jobs was notorious for his attention to detail and relentless pursuit of perfection. This wasn't driven by short-lived motivation, but by deep discipline and vision. Discipline also applies to the realm of science and discovery. Think of Marie Curie, who devoted her life to researching radioactivity. Her work required long hours, painstaking attention to detail, and perseverance in the face of discrimination and health risks. She didn't give up. She became the first woman to win a Nobel Prize and the only person to win Nobel Prizes in 2 different sciences. Curie's legacy wasn't built on bursts of inspiration. It was built on unwavering discipline, thought, and conclusion. Motivation is the spark, but discipline is the fire. If you want a life that burns bright with purpose and achievement, nurture that fire every single day. Be disciplined in thought, in action, and in attitude. Make discipline your habit, your identity, your superpower. Because when motivation disappears, it's discipline that keeps you moving forward. And that, more than anything, is what will make you unstoppable.